As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.
Normally, we just jump right into the guest introductions. I'm sure you're all aware watching. Charlie Kirk was assassinated a couple days ago. I don't have like a speech prepared or anything. I did a stream the following day. I did a stream on Wednesday. I did a stream on Thursday. My more elaborate thoughts on everything that went down are in that stream. If you're curious to hear that, you can check it out. It was just sort of an impromptu, spontaneous stream. Andrew joined in for a little period of time. Obviously, very upset by it. It's a terrible thing. And maybe I'll have some more words later, but I don't want to hold up the show too much. But can we get some some positive messages in the chat right now? If you guys you watch Charlie Kirk, you familiar with him, maybe just leave as a bit of a tribute to him. If you could leave like a nice message to Charlie, how maybe he inspired you in some way, or he changed your opinion on something, or whatever it is. So for the viewers, if you want to leave a comment, if you guys want to leave a little message in the chat, something nice to say about Charlie. I want to ask the panel, how do you feel about what happened to Charlie Kirk? Starting with you. Actually, starting with you.
Hey, okay. I personally am never going to celebrate anyone's death, ever. Especially to gun violence, especially to something so preventable. I can understand where this feeling of relief is coming from, though.
What do you mean, relief? Can you explain?
I do think that there is definitely a very strong sense on the internet of people being relieved in their own individual ways, some tasteful, some not tasteful. I think that people can have their own opinions on whether or not he deserved to die. Again, I personally don't think that any individual should ever be making a claim over whether or not someone deserves to live or not. I think that's a slippery slope. I think none of us have that kind of jurisdiction. But I absolutely, I never agreed with him. I think that he was hateful. I think that he caused, he just really did encourage hate among people.
You serious?
So he was spreading hate because his opinions were different than yours. And this is why they felt relief when he was assassinated? Ladies and gentlemen, the radical left and their tolerant ways.
And again, no one deserves to die for that. But when it comes to people online coming off as very relieved, coming off as like almost sadistic over it, I think that it is, this response brought on by a lot of years of resentment and rage watching this man.
Stop it. Get some help.
Say that gun violence is warranted, say that gun violence is a necessary cost to have guns. Like, he died on the hill that he stood on, and that is still tragic. That is still awful.
Do you want to elaborate any further, or is that the bulk of it?
Hold
up. Before I let people jump in on this, I need to get everybody's take here.
Oh, yeah.
So just a few clarifying things. You said he was hateful. Can you explain how?
A lot of his debates were not in good faith. This is a quite a minor example, but he did definitely trap people into corners. He did make them look stupid. He used misleading wording.
You sure about that?
His goal online, as much as
the question was how he was hateful. So, to be clear, I would contest your accusations that he was bad faith or he was misleading or using certain words or whatever.
I agree with Brian. Everything that she's accusing Charlie of doing, she's literally doing right now. What a hypocrite.
Even if that was the case, though, why would that be hateful?
Well, I think he also backed a lot of hateful points.
Such as?
As far as I'm aware of, he was very anti-abortion. He was very anti-gay marriage.
I'm actually not sure on his position on on the gay marriage thing, but
Yeah, we could probably.
he was anti-abortion. Okay.
The gay marriage one, I could probably use a fact check. I'm not that up to date on his. I haven't looked into it recently.
I would imagine my understanding of his position, he doesn't have any issue with gay people, but given that he's a Christian, I suspect he would have some objections to gay marriage. So
I have absolutely. I know for a
granted.
fact that I have seen clips of him saying that it's like whether unnatural or wrong or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if he backed it being illegal. I
okay,
can't. Yeah.
that's
By the way she's talking, I can tell she's never watched the full debate. She's seen the clip, got triggered, and now she hates Charlie Kirk. Just another woke liberal feminist spewing nonsense. Nothing to see here.
in terms of, well, I'm sure you object to some of his other positions
Yes.
more. What are the other hateful things?
Honestly, my main one is the abortion. I guess.
Anything else? Was there racism, sexism, anything?
Again, I'm not that up to date on his takes.
Okay,
I wouldn't
but
like
the
to make.
abortion component was the.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to make any false claims, even if I believe that might be
Okay.
true. I can't. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you understand why these people might be rejoicing or happy because, well, his other takes, but one such take that might justify these people's reactions is his anti-abortion position.
Yes.
Well, then correspondingly, then you must be okay also with people who have, and this is something that has happened in the past when, for example, abortion clinics have been targeted in a violent way. You disavow the violence, but you would understand why somebody would target an abortion clinic.
What do you mean?
Well, you're sort of doing this justification for the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
I do not justify
you're
violence in
saying
any
that you're-
capacity.
Well, you're kind of roundabout saying, well, he didn't deserve to die, but you can understand why other people are happy about it. So then you would have no issue with when abortion clinics have been targeted by anti-abortionists. You would then, you would be okay if somebody was okay with somebody targeting.
Well, I would like to first off reiterate, I'm not making any claim on whether or not he deserved it either way. I don't think I have any right to. That is none of my business.
Right, but you're playing cover for the people who are, while they themselves didn't engage in a specific act of violence, you're saying, well, I kind of get why these people are enjoying or rejoicing in his death.
Sure. Do I personally think that it is right to rejoice in it? No. Do I understand that people are not always the most rational when they're emotional? Yes. This is a man who intentionally evoked reaction for clips, for views.
So that was a lie.
He was definitely, the way that he debated was to get clips,
He debated for the views. He was doing it for the clicks. Do you know how big the Turning Point movement is? Lady, you need to get your head checked.
And it worked. People had very strong opinions on him. And
Yeah, that wouldn't justify
No.
murder, but
I'm
Right, but
anti-violence in
people-
all capacities.
I guess my confusion is especially, and I understand your position, and I understand that you don't think he deserved to be assassinated. My issue, though, is you are playing cover for the people who are rejoicing in his assassination, saying you, to some degree, understand why they would act that way. Look, I understand that people have differences of political opinion and that you might strongly dislike somebody. You might despise them. You might even hate them. But to me, it would never, I don't know why there needs to be a but. Well, I don't know why even people on the left side, there needs to be a but. Well, he didn't deserve to die, but he was bad in all these ways. Why can't we just leave it at what happened was wrong, he didn't deserve to die? And then, look, I'm fine with people having objections to his positions and worldviews. It's fair to criticize those things. But when we're having a conversation about his assassination and it's followed by a but, it seems like it's getting a bit into the territory of creating a sort of smuggled in justification, even if not for the assassination itself, the sort of clearly and there's no other word. It's clearly, I would categorize it as evil to, even if you completely disagree with someone entirely, to rejoice in somebody's death.
You ain't lying.
And this is something that the left is struggling to understand right now. All your laughing, dancing, and rejoicing, it only makes you look bad. I mean, real bad. This is why they're trying to dox you. You're getting canceled left, right, and center. Nobody wants anything to do with y'all right now.
And some of the things I've seen online, maybe you've seen them, are disgusting. Completely disgusting.
Sure. So I'm going to jump to a very extreme example here. And I do want to make it clear beforehand, and this will make sense once I pose my question.
Sure.
I am not in any way comparing Charlie Kirk to Hitler. Bear with me on this.
Oh.
When Hitler died, do you think people rejoiced?
She said she wouldn't compare him to Hitler, but she went on and did it anyways. All because she doesn't like what he said about abortion. The tolerant left.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. As much as I personally stand by the fact that we should not be claiming who deserves to live or die. We should not be rejoicing death in any sense. I think that when someone has such a profound impact on people emotionally, when someone is actively trying to enact policies that will harm people, that will end people's lives, because abortion does kill, or anti-abortion policies do kill.
Oh, you said it right the first time.
Abortion kills.
Gotcha.
You said it right the first time.
I love that. Anti-abortion policies do kill. And on that note, I think that when people see someone who is affecting their lives in such a heavy way and trying so hard to harm them personally,
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
they obviously are going to have an emotional response to it.
Could I just ask, do you have a better example other than Hitler? Because Hitler has
really
I know it's very extreme.
it's very extreme to the point because he
Charlie
has murdered people.
Kirk is
Yes.
nothing
Charlie
like
Kirk
Hitler.
has
Well,
different
of course,
opinions.
my opinion isn't
crazy.
saying that they're in any way similar or on similar levels of evil or anything
You
along
can't
those
even
lines.
use that
But
example.
I'm just curious, why invoke that? Because I'm sure we would acknowledge that there is a threshold, right? So is your position, let's just cut to the chase. Is your position that Charlie Kirk was beyond the threshold of justified rejoicing in his death because of his political beliefs or whatever?
I personally do believe so.
Y'all smoking crack. Something is wrong with you people.
I don't think that it's rational. I don't think it's reasonable. I don't think it's humane. But I think that if someone has an emotional response like that, the way or what he had done would evoke emotional responses like that from people, whether or not it's
Well, I think there's a couple different thresholds here. So I can understand. Look, I think if there's a person who you hate and they die, maybe they have a personal feeling. Perhaps this is the social media world we live in. Even then, I would sort of object to even a private, individual, internal rejoicing when someone dies. I do think that is a bit malevolent and evil. But to publish it is a much higher threshold. To publish it and to just be so. I can't even
Vocal.
it's not just I'm glad
Sinister.
this happened. I've seen clips of people saying, why stop there? What about, I saw this girl who was she was saying that it should have been the wife and kids too.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I'm not surprised. The way that these feminists have been radicalized, I wouldn't put it past them. They hate Charlie, they hate family, they hate life. What do you expect?
That's what I call a chain reaction.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the perfect recipe. May they remember me, my words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame, hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. It's the media that's been leading you, I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.
As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.